Let's get scratching.
And hello, everybody. This is Adam Latour, and we are back with another episode of the KashCast. It's been a hot minute since we've last recorded, and for my first of two episodes that I have planned for the rest of this year, I have with me another one of my coworkers on Kiff, Nick Cruz. Nick is one of the color designers we have on the show, and he's also a very accomplished creative in his own right, and we also both happen to share a lot of the same interests as well. Nick has been a swell guy, and I am honestly looking forward to this episode, not only to dive more into what he does, but just to casually talk about shared interests and the like. So, Nick, welcome to the show. How have you been lately?
I've been doing great, man. Just a lot of working, working on Kiff, getting those color designs out, and learning to be a dad in this whole year, basically.
Oh, wow! Congratulations!
Oh, thank you. Yeah, just my son.
No problem.
My son was born back in January, so that's been just trying to learn all that as that's been going on.
Oh,
yeah. While trying to make art, could be a little bit much, but it's been a fun journey, so far. So I've been enjoying it a lot. But outside of that, just working.
I can imagine how difficult that is. So honestly, props to you, or honestly, just like any parents out there who is still, squeezing in time to do art. I think time management is a very underrated skill, especially at this point in time.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely been one of the harder things, because I've always had not the greatest time management skills. I'm very much the type of person that'll that'll wait till the very last second to do something, the day before it's due or something like that. I've always been that kind of guy, but I'm trying to steer that back a little bit, maybe work on it along the way, and try to get things done where it's not so hectic and all at once,
Oh, so to circle back, with Kiff and everything. So, for those who aren't in the know, so you specifically are a color designer. So, what are some of the specific tasks that you do on the regular? And when it comes to the assets that you have colored or anything like that, is there anything that's publicly available, of course, that you're really proud of how it came out?
Yeah, I would say I actually do really need to update my website, but I do have some stuff
problem.
up.
We all do.
Yeah, for real, it's a constant battle. But but I do have some stuff on, mostly season 1 stuff up on there, because I'm always fond of coloring. For anyone that doesn't know, we call the special poses SPCs, which stand for special pose characters. And those are always the most fun to color, because it's usually involves usually more often than not it's during the montage sequences, so there's always a special kind of lighting going on, or
right.
And that's always fun to mess around with when coloring, but it's the character designs are always just so well done by the character designers. They always have the most hilarious faces or crazy expressions and everything. And so those always wind up being really cool, especially if it's if you're doing a really complex one too. It can get kind of crazy. But when it's all said and done, usually it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I'm definitely, me personally, I'm definitely happy to hear, I feel for me, when I'm looking at animatics, and then when I see a really good pose or a really good expression, and it still gets captured once it gets cleaned up and everything, that's when everything comes together. That's where you see the magic. Because when I was just a fan and not a professional, but I was still curious because I didn't originally go to school for animation or anything. But I was still trying to piece together everything. that I could.
Mm.
So when I was looking at shows like Adventure Time or Steven Universe, and I was noticing people like different board artists have different styles and how that could result in characters looking different once they show up on the screen. That sort of process always seemed fascinating to me. And, sometimes you end up forgetting just how complicated the process can be once you've been on the other side of it for so long. But, when you end up seeing it on TV or in a YouTube clip or whatever, it's like, hey, we're making cartoons, and that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like every time I come across a Kiff episode, because like sometimes I'll be with my mom and at her place, and like she'll throw she'll just like flip over if I'm there to like Disney Channel or Toon Disney or something, and Kiff will be on. And I'm like,
yeah,
dude, that's crazy. Like, you just turned on Disney Channel and like the show that I work on is on. Like, it's always a surreal experience still to me, even though I've only been doing this professionally for like 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
But it is still like just really cool to see it. Like, it's like, man, I remember like working like a couple weeks on that episode or something, And it's like, boom, here it is on TV, all finished, went through the whole pipeline and everything, and now it's just another, piece of Disney media. And it's like, it's just really cool to like, it's kind of like an experience that's hard to put into words exactly, but it's still just really cool.
Oh, I completely agree. Like, sometimes it feels getting so caught up in the grind. And of course, dream jobs are still jobs, but I can't lie and say that having my name in a Disney television show as someone who watched a lot of Disney Channel for the past 2 decades, it's surreal. I would have blown 8-year-old me's head off,
Right?
telling that kid, like, hey, you're gonna be on TV. I mean, not exactly, but yeah, you are. Like, and it's great. It's great to be able to look back at that, honestly. Even for a role such as this, which is important, it just gets overshadowed. But that's always been, for me, the purpose of talking to people across the pipeline on a show like this, because there are people in positions that don't really get nearly as much like dues. So I want to fix that, honestly. And if more people can glean a little bit of information, the better, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been, I realized this like a while ago. It's like the PA people, like, you guys are like just unsung heroes, man. Like, the amount of stuff you guys have to keep up with and make sure it's done, and then communicating through all the artists and everything, the creatives.
Yeah,
like, that is, I truly commend you guys. I don't know how you guys stay on top of it all, but like, you guys are working magic over there, man. Like, that's just I can only imagine, like, that's gotta be a little bit crazy, especially when episodes are about the ship and all that as well.
Oh yeah. And, like full stop. Like, I personally am not involved with shipment. If anything, I feel like the rest of the team is just all stars. I'm just auxiliary support, I feel. But
hey, man, we're all part of it. We're all we're on the team.
Yeah,
everyone does their part, and I feel like you take one part out of that, it's not going to work as well.
Oh yeah, like, I feel like if more than 2 out of like our regular all-stars are absent or sick, then it feels like the show is just running on fumes. But we still get it working, so we're a very well-oiled machine at this point.
Yeah, especially how things have come along since season 1 to season 3. It's like we definitely way more in a groove, way more in a vibe. The show style is like really coming along nice.
I think the process of getting to that point where wait, let me double check. Let me double check if I can go on this tangent.
Gotta check the NDA real quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was officially announced. Yeah, so okay, so we can finally laugh about this because it's public knowledge that, we are getting season 3. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, because
So,
there was yeah, I'm sure you're about to get into it actually.
yeah. So when we were both working on we're both on Kiff. So there was a social media post that was supposed to be an announcement post for season 2. In reality, though, it was just a simple typo that season 3 was announced.
Yup.
And there were so many people, even internally, even up top, that were confused. And I would like to think
Yes.
that everything just worked out because so many people were excited. So many people just assumed that it would already get season 3. I'd like to think that accidental viral marketing played a factor of just like, yeah, we'll just give you another season just to act like we were on top of this the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think even I was joking with some people like, oh, now it's got to happen. They announced it, like
Yeah.
that was so funny because you're totally right. Like we were all confused as well. Like because like we were sitting around hoping for a season 3, but we hadn't heard anything about it yet. And then it's like out of nowhere, here comes this social media post, and it was up for like an hour or something.
Yeah,
it was up for a while for like at least the hardcore fans to see. So
yeah,
but like we wound up making it happen, and and at that time too, it didn't seem that implausible because the show got renewed for season 2 while season 1 just started airing. So so it didn't, people were like, oh, maybe that is true. So like I'm glad it all came to fruition, and here we are, now working on it since it's announced and everything. So that's been really that was a crazy moment for sure.
It really was. But wherever you are out there, Disney social media manager, bless your heart.
Bless your heart for sure. Let us know if season 4 is gonna happen at all.
Yeah, just wink, wink. Do another typo.
Yeah.
Like
we won't.
We won't. Snitch.
Yeah, we won't be mad about it.
Yes, quite the opposite.
That's.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So, and this is actually a thing that I was interested in. So I was checking your IMDb. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but before you were on Kiff, you were on the show Teenage Euthanasia?
Yeah, that was over at Augenblick Studios, and I.
Oh, so how was that?
That was it was interesting. It was overall it was a good good experience. I wasn't there super long. I was just interning.
Right.
Yeah, I was doing that during my senior year at SVA while I was working on my thesis. So that was like pretty cool because at the time I didn't have to travel to Brooklyn to go to their studio to do the intern. But yeah, it was a interesting experience because it really showed me like how overworked you could get with just like because like that they were just like there was just so much to do with that show because I was helping out on backgrounds and so and like what I do for Kiff and most of my own personal work I'll draw like in Photoshop. I have my love-hate relationship with Photoshop. But
as we all
absolutely but that's what I was like so used to doing a lot of my illustration work in. And so when I was like helping out with them, they do, or at least on that project, they did everything right in Flash and Adobe Animate.
Right.
Yeah, so like I was lining backgrounds and coloring backgrounds in there, and like it was a little hectic because even as an intern, like I got go on for the day and everybody talked. We used Slack to talk through to each other.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and like I'd get on and it'd be like a list of like a couple different backgrounds. It's like all right, get these done, get as many of these done as you can by end of the day, and then you get like a new list like the next time you're on, or like be continuing some of like the list that you had. So it was just like it was a lot more work. Where I feel like Kiff can be a little bit more lax. Like obviously we get like around a week or so to do the color to all the designs from a specific episode. Whereas like with that, it was just kind of like I didn't really know what episode we were on. Like it kind of felt like very mishmashed, but it did really like open me up to like how hard working there could be. While it still was a good experience, like I feel like the people I was working with was cool, and they brought on a lot of interns as well. And I was working alongside a lot of people I went to school with. Actually, I believe Rose, who's also the other color designer on Kiff, also interned there with me.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we were both. That was kind of like both our first forays into the industry. I think that was her first as well. If I'm not wrong, but
what a small world.
Yeah. So like, it's a lot, and then, but overall, that show was really cool. I like that style of the vibes of what it was going for, and it did get a second season, but I think it went to a different studio. I want to say because I was talking to our line producer Matt Burns, and he was also at Alden Blake at the time. I think prior to that show, but I think he was telling me like season 2 went to a different studio or something because I like Alden Blake's productions, but they try to, I guess, like go for a lower budget if possible.
Yeah, that definitely tracks.
Yeah, for sure. But but overall, it was cool. Like I think like if I was going into the office, it might have been like a completely different experience. But being able to do it from home made it a lot more manageable, or as manageable as it could be, because I was like doing some freelance work on the side for money, and then also working on my thesis. So I was just doing a lot of art for like a solid like 8-9 months. Pretty much.
Yeah.
While the world felt honestly, like it was ending.
Yeah. Honestly, like props to you for getting that grind set, for a lack of better expression.
Yeah, man. Like I was on it then. I hope to not have to do that again in the future, hopefully. But if I have to, if I have to, at least I know I can. But it was a stressful time. But I did learn a lot, and I just learned a lot about like how their pipeline worked, and just kind of like how communication through the pipeline and talking with other artists, how that all worked, firsthand, outside of just hearing from my teacher, or just kind of doing it with like classmates in school. It was a completely different vibe, and it really like just kind of set up my mind for like how the industry would work. And then
right
somehow got into Titmouse, and Titmouse is great. It's a little bit more easygoing, but they still run a tight ship. Obviously, you would know.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, that was a cool project overall. I think it was really interesting getting to work on like an Adult Swim show as like my first thing, because as someone who's watched Adult Swim most of his life, I was like, this is really cool to kind of be a part of it. It's kind of like what we were saying, like seeing your name in the credits. It's just like really cool to be a part of like animation history to a certain degree, because it's something, for people like us, it's like something like very important in our lives. It's like ingrained in us for as long as we've been watching cartoons and animation. So it's like it feels kind of cool to be part of that club, for lack of better words.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's also a small world considering the fact that my first project was also Adult Swim related. I was on the Metalocalypse movie as my very first gig.
Oh, awesome, man! I didn't know you worked on that. That's great.
Yeah, that was my first PA thing, and as that was winding down, I just immediately just got thrown into Kiff. So as my time was winding down on Nair, there were times where I was alternating between the two shows until my metal contract was fully done, and then I was on Kiff full time. You can imagine how confusing that was. But honestly, it was a pretty good experience. I was able to really meet some great people. Shout out shout out to people like Rachel, Carmen, Cell, Al, even my line producer Laura Allen. Just a really nice group of people. Carla as well. But sadly, you know, I mean, this was an entirely I was entirely remote. Um and it was an LA project anyway, so even if I could go into the office at that point, there wouldn't really be any reason to.
You would have to hop on a
And
plane.
it was just surreal because this was like my first real job. Well, for money, that is. So you can imagine just stepping to a brand new world like this, like a new phase of one's life could be, especially as someone who did not go to college for animation.
Exactly, especially
That's one thing.
Especially knowing like how extra weird everything was with the pandemic going on as well. So it's so it was like it's kind of like just you're stepping into a world that they're still kind of figuring out as well.
Yeah, like everything was changing in real time, and it was just an experience, especially when that first big HBO Max purged hit. It was like a rocket, like, to morale, and now it's just yeesh.
Yeah. Kind of they brought that rocket down real fast.
They really did.
Yeah.
But in spite of it, I've been able to meet with a lot of great people. I still work with a lot of great people. And just shout out to people like Olivia and Elaine who were able to just show me the ropes to the best of their ability while I wasn't even officially on the show yet. Again, like, we have all stars on this show. I got no complaints. And I'm just happy to be a part of the team at this point. And right. So speaking of, like, in terms of just, I guess, like, feeling aloof in this current climate, and maybe this will come in handy for people who are listening, but when it comes to how you are at the moment, how are you able to balance work and life while still trying to improve as an artist?
Yeah, I think that's it's funny because I'm still kind of trying to figure that out myself. Because I was still working like on a lot of personal art, like my first year or two on Kiff. And then that's obviously like dramatically slowed down a lot in the last
I can imagine
last year or so. But I'm starting to like try to get back into it. I'm trying to like start up maybe some creative projects or kind of or as I was discussing with you behind the scenes, just like writing projects and everything. Because like writing is like absolutely not my strong suit for sure. I'm not really much of an ideas guy. Maybe a concept guy, but then it's like getting beyond the concept. I gotta really sit down and like put in the work. But so I would really like to work on my writing some more, but trying to like balance everything is it's been a little tough, like, honestly, especially like after school, especially at first, like that first summer before I did eventually get hired at Titmouse. I was just kind of burnt out, man. I was like, damn, I just finished an internship. I finished, I'm still doing a little bit of freelance work. I just finished, college. I got my degree, and then on top of it, I'm like applying to like a bunch of jobs a day, trying to get a job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that time.
Yeah, I feel that.
So like I just kind of tried to focus on relaxing as much as I could then. And then once I got back in, or actually got hired at Titmouse, I was like, oh, I really like want to, keep improving our portfolio and everything. And so like I'll do like a lot of like easy, like an easy thing to do if you just want to get like really creative, do some fan art, you know?
Yeah, I gotta get back into that.
Yeah, like even if you don't post it or anything, I draw like, or I sketch a lot behind the scenes as well. I just don't like post a lot of it because I'm like, oh, this is too crappy to put on Instagram, even though it's probably not. Like that's just like the mentality of it. So like so I do try to like sketch a lot because I'm very much into, personally for myself, which I guess like helped me lead to color, was I like I got really big into doing like background designs and painting backgrounds when I was like in college, because like obviously at first I like, when I first got to SVA, I was like everybody else, oh, I want to be a storyboard artist or a character designer. And then like when you're around so many other talented artists, you're like, you kind of start to figure out, you're like, all right, maybe that isn't my strong suit. Like where what what do I like doing the most? Because like I like animating to a certain degree,
Mm-hmm.
and I like seeing it all come together in the end. But the actual process of animating was like a little bit grueling for me. I'm like, oh, this is a little bit rough for me. And then it's like, especially if you're not getting like a certain couple movements down right, it could be a little demoralizing for a bit. Like, but like obviously like you're still learning, so you have to put in the work to learn. But I kind of realized like halfway through college, I was like, I don't know if I want to do these jobs as much. Plus, you know, they're like very sought after. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, and then like I was just starting to like realize like how much I loved background artwork, and how much, because like, you know, backgrounds are just, they add the vibe, the setting, the mood, the atmosphere to so many of the scenes. They're like so
Yeah,
integral.
it's a very underrated part.
Yeah, man. Like you go back to like something like Adventure Time, and you take out the backgrounds, it would, or just put in a completely different location, it would be and feel like such a different show.
Yeah. And especially because of the fact that, look, obviously I can speak from experience. There are some shows, including Metalocalypse, where the backgrounds are just ridiculously polished. And I
Yeah.
mean that in the best way possible. But I think a lot of people assume that shows with simpler art styles, especially if they're for kids, you know, it's easier to make art assets for shows like that. And I think you'd be in a better position than me to say that is not the case.
Yeah, definitely not. Like it can look deceptively easy. And maybe it
Yes.
is like a little bit compared to like doing like, you know, an anime city background or something like that. Like that's got to be painstaking for sure.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
that kind of like level of detail with the correct lighting and everything. Um, but like, yeah, it's still very much meticulous, and like, heck, there could be even like, it could be even something like you'll focus on like this one part of the background, and for all you know, the character covers that up in the scene. You know,
Yep.
you don't even know half the time, um, unless they have like, you know, a specific placement in that scene. But like it could be like you said, it can go very like underappreciated, like especially on a first watch you're probably
Hmm.
not looking at the backgrounds. But it's like when I was looking at things like Adventure Time and Over the Garden Wall, and like really loving like how much atmosphere and mood those backgrounds brought to those
Yes.
shows. Like I was like, the setting, especially for a lot of shows, I feel like the setting is also very much a character, like in like,
Yes. Oh my god.
exactly,
Took the words right out of my mouth.
like Hey Arnold wouldn't be Hey Arnold if it wasn't in New York, man.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. And also, thank you for saying that it's in New York. Now, some people like to say it's in Washington or Jersey, but it's like,
nah,
I
man.
recognize those bus
Yeah,
lines. Come
yeah,
on.
come on, man. That's definitely New York City. But it's like it's so important, and I was like, man, those are, I really like that. And then I would sit down and just, you know, like I remember the summer between my second and third year, I just drew a lot of backgrounds and tried to like work on my painting. And then unironically, it was what really like boosted up my learning a lot was having Nico's class. our art director Nico.
Right.
That's where I met him my third year at SVA. It was his first year teaching at SVA, and I just took a random color theory class at Nico, and like he really he taught me a lot in that class, man. Like so much about painting, so much about color theory, even just like how to do stuff in Photoshop that I just didn't know before or wasn't finding on my own from the tutorials I was looking up. It's like, yeah,
Right.
like he blew my mind with adjustment layers and like learning what those were, and just like how quickly you can like change up the mood of a setting just by doing that, or like testing different things. And that like really just like kind of like I took off from there. I was like, oh. And then like I kind of just started grasping like color a lot better, because like if you asked me when I was a kid, like dude, I was like scared to like color half of my drawings because I felt like coloring it ruined them, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if you're working with like, shout out to crayons, they're everybody's like first thing, but like, not the greatest tool to color with. But so I was always worried about like adding color to my pieces, but then like I don't know, something about being in college and just messing around with that just kind of gave me this brand new fresh opinion perspective on it. And I kind of just went with that, and that's like a lot of like the personal pieces I like to do when I do have the time is just working on like just trying to put these like crazy locations I have in my head down on paper. And like seeing how they all come together, and like what kind of mood I want to have for it, and what's the overall like vibe of it. And so that's like a lot of like what I like to do when I'm doing like some personal art on my own. But like yeah, I'm trying to branch out a little bit more, trying to get some writing projects down. Kind of making more comics too. Comics are just like another really nice way to get like a quick thought out,
Yeah.
Like
anything in particular about like an OC or like autobio comics or anything particular?
well, like right now I'm trying to like work with a friend of mine, because we're both like, I would say to a certain degree we're both a little bit like politically charged people, and like
Yes.
just kind of feeling like everything's crazy right now. So we're thinking about yeah.
Look at the week we're recording this.
Good point, man. And so like I've been talking with a friend who he went to school for like for like communications, but he's gotten a lot of like writing jobs. He's also worked on like he's helped work on some like fan translations of video games as well.
Really?
Yeah, just like I can't actually remember any off the top of my head, but a couple Japanese RPGs for sure. Shout out to my friend Eric.
Much respect.
Yeah, he's
much respect. Like definitely DM me his name.
Yeah, I'll have to get you in contact with him.
Nice. Thank you.
Of course, man. And so like he's very much into writing, and like so I was like, oh, like maybe like let me talk to him and like see kind of what pointers he has about like when it comes to writing. And so like me and him were like talking about like trying to put together some kind of like satirical comic, basically with a political angle to it. Just kind of as a way to like vent, man. It's like, what else can you do? Like with it, you could obviously go and vote and protest and all that, but like I think like art's always like it's always been there side and side with politics. And so I think it would just be like a fun way to like kind of vent our frustrations while also kind of just making it funny. But like we're kind of trying to tackle that right now, and like so it'd probably be like maybe not with like an OC, but like kind of like just different, like maybe like yeah, like just different characters probably like each time, just kind of depending on the story we want to tell with that. And how it probably just be like short little kind of like videos. It might be like we might go in the frame of like doing like videos as well, kind of like you ever see, I really like that guy on Instagram, Goop Smooch. You ever seen his videos?
No. Can you spell the username? I'll check it out right
now. Oh yeah, it's like GOOB Smooch. Pretty sure he makes like he makes like these little funny like comics. His art style kind of reminds me of Psychonauts a little bit. Even his voice acting to a certain degree, because he'll voice the the characters.
I think I've seen some of these.
Yeah, like those have really been inspiring me, and I'm like, how can I take this and like do something, put my own spin on something similar to that, while not like, you know, obviously totally ripping off the idea.
Oh, of course. Yeah, honestly, well, first off, assuming we don't get into it now, but if you ever have like more info about what you want to do for your personal project specifically, feel free to let me know. We can do like a whole show dedicated on that. You know, I'm eventually going to do the same with Angela as well, so don't sweat it.
Sounds good.
But yeah,
I'll definitely have to. But I'm very much still kind of very early on with those, so I don't have that much to discuss. But like it's definitely like a lot of definitely where I want to go right now, with like kind of just a lot of where I want to put my creativity into right now.
Initially, but it just seems it's a lot harder for me at least, to schedule podcast recording around IRL friends for whatever reason, but I don't know, I'll get back into that eventually. Right, so to close out, just as a small update as to where things are going on right now, I am still writing. I'm still writing articles for my blog, and I'm still trying to make video essays. I was able to actually get a short script / article done over the weekend, and I want to try to get that out this month. I have a longer script that I want to get out before the end of the year. I am also doing miscellaneous things for other people, helping out with motion graphics for logo animations, you know, spreading word about union stuff with the Tag Health organization that I'm also a part of. Yeah, no, I'm pretty busy, honestly.
Are you learning After Effects for the motion graphics?
Yeah. One of my friends, Gavinci, he has like an artist collective, so I'm trying to tinker at how to like animate that logo in, you know, sort of like a Dreamcast boot sequence sort of way, you know what I mean?
That's nice. I love that. That's gonna come out nice.
Yeah,
once you like get it down.
I will definitely be keeping you posted about that. And hopefully we'll be able to talk to Gavinci on here on the podcast in the future. But yeah, I would say, as usual, you can keep up with me at adamlatorre.com. That's my blog. As for usernames, you should be able to find me at A2Adam on most socials. I also should have a card that is a2adam.card, CARRD.co, and there you'll find a little interactive bumper that just has all of my information, and I do try to keep that up to date. It's easier to my website, at least. So again, Nick, it was great having you on, and I think we can finally call it. So this has been a great episode of the KashCast. I have been Adam.
I've been Nick.
And we will both catch you next time. Remember to stay safe, take care, wear a mask, and remember, love and peace always. Take care, everyone.
Take care, guys.